it's difficult to.
So meaning to say, if you don't vote for the majority, you vote for the opposition.
Yes. That's the word, yeah.
Right? So if the majority party won the place, so if you come for their meet the people
session or something like that,
ask for help, they won't help you because they know that you vote for opposition.
Podcast ini dibawakan khas kepada anda oleh KHALIFA Realtors. Biasanya banyak masalah akan timbul dalam proses penjualan atau membeli rumah di Singapura.
Masalah HFE, loan, grant, cash ataupun faraid. Senang cakap, masalah-masalah ini memang takkan habis.
Ya, memang ada beribu ejen hartanah di Singapura. Tetapi kenapa KHALIFA Realtors? Kerana dorang berpengalaman lebih dari 20 tahun. Dorang sangat profesional. Dorang akan membimbing anda dalam penjualan dan pembelian rumah anda seperti seorang Khalifah.
Dorang juga akan jaga hati klien dorang walaupun ada klien yang sangat leceh. Dan yang paling penting, dorang selalu angkat Top Agent Award setiap tahun.
Dah tak perlu fikir-fikir lagi nak pakai ejen yang mana. Hubungi KHALIFA Realtors di talian
8892-5882.
Ikuti socials kami di Facebook, Instagram dan TikTok @KHALIFA Realtors.
KHALIFA Realtors, kita kasih settle.
Sorry. Jom ah. KAHTEL 100 on the gas, I try to bro. Takkan silap kata bila go. Flex up on them collars, money shows. Dulu tak ada orang man, sekarang semua on attention. We on the road, cari beras. Dapat sesuap pun tak berkeras. Keraskan hatiku, kerjakan mimpi dan lost on my peers at the pain in the past. No, I'm not sorry for knowing my worth. The blood that I've lost for a dream that I earned. It's for what you think, I'ma speak on my mind till the day that I die. It's KAHTEL till it burns. I know I'm different, I'm on my own wave. I might chalk up, let's get it, tapi semua swerve. Banyak suka tembak nama, suka buang masa. Apa korang nak bercerita? I got some people that's praying, hoping the shit that I'm on takkan last, I'm a servant. Saya nasib pun tak ada orang pasal untuk korang tengok. Sekarang was the word, sekarang kita
Combine.
But 6K is barely getting by.
Barely getting by.
Right.
Yeah. Means I earn 3K, she earn 3K for example. That's 6K, no car, no helper.
After CPF.
After CPF.
Okay.
Yeah. 6K. Okay.
I think around the same. Depending on lifestyle lah.
Lifestyle
so
lah.
meaning you can't live, like even buying gifts is very at a very minimal
Once a year lah.
price lah. Yeah, so
Once
you can't
a year,
really splurge.
Yeah.
So comfortable, contented. I think around 5 to 6K combined income.
Yeah.
To go for holiday like Australia, New Zealand might be difficult.
Of course. Or even impossible.
Or even impossible, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think I don't have the exact figures right now, but I think the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy, what was it, NUS, they did some survey on actually how much they think is the bare minimum for a family of two to survive or something like that, right? And I can't remember the exact sum. I don't want to misquote, you know, POFMA trauma, right?
Dia kena tahu, dia kena lawsuit.
Yeah,
POFMA, right?
Yeah.
You experience POFMA, right?
You also?
Yeah.
You experience POFMA? No, let's experience this.
Okay.
I'm joking.
First ever live POFMA, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think the figure was somewhere around the 2K range or something. I mean, of course, I'll double check. I'll send you all the stuff later, right? In case we need to own self POFMA, right? But sometimes you really wonder, like, all these things, how are people getting by? With what may not be deemed as enough, you know. So it's really going back to that daily struggle. And end of the day, I think to go back to your question, right? How we go about it, whether it's the progressive wage model or the minimum wage model, or to basically to upskill and whatnot. But I think it's the idea of restoring dignity to Singaporeans, because sometimes I do feel sad when I go to let's say coffee shops and whatnot,
right?
And then we see old people cleaning the table.
Yeah.
Of course, they will say that some of them choose to do it by choice. Okay, how much of that is true, I don't know, right? But I think that look, if you there are many old people doing very strenuous jobs, and these are the pioneer generation, the Merdeka generation who fight so hard for Singapore to where it is today. I think they deserve at least a dignified retirement, right? And nowadays you see every other day in the news, you see people like someone dies in their home alone,
yes.
and then the smell comes like 3 days later, 4 days later. Yeah. So I think sometimes we have to step back and say, okay, look, we as a society, we have progressed so much, right? Maybe it's time to get rid of the siege mentality. Siege mentality is, I think, the modern day, like the hustle culture. You know, yeah, it's good to have the mindset, but sometimes we have to realize that not everyone in life gets the same, we come from the same place. So we may need to think about how we want to redistribute the wealth.
Right.
That means we as a society has got so much wealth, you know, so much returns.
Yeah.
How do we redistribute it in a more equitable way? We don't have all the answers, but at least from a matter of principle, I think we have a duty to those who are less well off than us.
I mean, to answer that, I think efforts have been done in terms of, okay, what we are paying GST or our tax.
Okay.
Right, we pay income tax. And then I see, I because I watch Don't Call Us Poor on CNA. If you watch that on YouTube.
Yeah, poor you. No, yeah, I know that one of the
Yeah. So I when I watch those videos, right, I kind of like feel a sense of empathy towards them, what they go through on a daily basis, because they are like, honestly, like rabak
Yeah.
Like their
Struggling,
income, struggling, like really struggling, and they are alone, no family to take care of. But I see there is always, and most of them always have a social worker.
Oh.
So social workers, who runs this?
Of course, MSF. Yeah.
MSF.
Yeah.
MSF is by
The government lah.
Yeah.
the government.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm not being pro anyone here,
Of course,
but
yeah.
the effort is being done. Like
Yeah.
if we were to compare with other countries, they are like people living on the streets.
Of course, yeah.
And
Homeless,
homeless, and they have to apply for this, have to wait. Bro, really, like everywhere you turn is just walls.
Yeah.
But for Singaporeans, they have like these welfare homes,
Correct.
social workers to always call and just give their testimonial lah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I think it's definitely true. It's just that sometimes we have heard a bit of what we want to do is to restore the dignity in the process. Where sometimes, let's say, if you have to go and you see, a lot of times systems are generally designed based on like what is the needs of the people.
Yes.
Right. So like, okay, some people need welfare and whatnot, but sometimes a lot of times, I think in Singapore, sometimes we have this like Margaret Thatcher sort of view where like we don't want people to abuse the system. Right, which is fair, but then sometimes out of maybe 100 fellas, maybe 3 fellas abuse, but 97% are genuine good faith, they benefit, you know. So but sometimes even let's say going to MSF or the process of seeking help, right, we believe that look, it's definitely a step in the right direction, but the process itself should be dignified. It shouldn't be the point where like, you know, sometimes you have to explain why, like, oh, your son, over here it says your son is working. You know, that sort of things, yeah. And I think that, yes, we can have a good welfare system, right? But at the same time, we need to empower people to hopefully not have to rely on these things in the first place. Because, I mean, the question I always ask is this, right? Like, okay, you GST voucher, CDC voucher, whatnot.
Yeah.
You feel shook, right? Of course, it's your own money, like, actually, right? But which one would you rather have? GST not raised in the first place or random GST vouchers? You know, so like what we want, of course, no one will say no to free money. Let's be real. Right? But of course, what we want is, in a sense, long-term solutions that tackles the root cause. Yeah. And of course, a lot of times, and sometimes it's even linked to crime. Because a lot of times it's through these struggles that sometimes people may turn to crime.
Agree.
Right? And it's very hard to delink it from the other portions of society. I really feel that a lot of times if we have a dignified way of doing things and some mutual respect and a common understanding that, look, like for example, I spent a few years in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Okay. In New Zealand, a blue collar worker can earn as much as a white collar worker.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. And like you over there, you don't see foreign, not much foreign workers. Like the construction workers, they are all Angmo.
Okay.
Because look, let's say
Locals lah, basically.
locals, you don't do too well in school, but you're damn good at plumbing. You're damn good at laying bricks or whatnot.
Yeah.
You can still have a very dignified life, and you know, like there is no over prioritization of white collar over blue collar.
Right.
Because honestly, which one does society need more? Blue collar or white collar?
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah. Which one adds more value to society? You know, so it's these things that, I mean, honestly, if you ask me how right now, I also don't know, but it takes, because a lot of times the government can do so much, but the mindset of people takes time to change.
Right.
So this is where, I mean, of course, when we go to the ballot box, it's quite a simple decision, right? But a lot of times it's also about not voting for yourself, but voting for the next generation, the generation that came before us, and even people who may not have the right to vote in Singapore. Yeah.
Talking about the ballot box, right? Our votes, right? Is it really secret? Because if our vote is secret, there won't be any serial number. To me, it's just my opinion.
Yeah.
What do you think? Will anybody knows? For example, I vote, right? Will anybody knows who I voted for?
Right. You know, this is something that I've been hearing a lot more of.
Yeah.
Like, what would you, I mean, just off the bat, what do you guys think? Like,
Yeah.
you,
I want to add on also. What's the purpose of the serial number?
okay.
That's the I want to know.
Actually, I did ask
So what would you
They
do?
say-
Who do you ask, bro?
Huh?
Who do you ask?
my friend. no, basically, I asked because they said they need to know how many people voted.
So you
So, like for example, in Punggol, for example, right? Punggol,
Okay.
right? So they are like, for example,
Let's put
60,000
okay.
residents lah. So
Okay.
they need to count like, okay, do all the 60,000 residents voted or not?
serial number is it 1, 2, 3, something
That's
like
what
that.
they say lah.
Okay. Who said that?
My friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your friend is from
J.
Okay.
Yeah. So you know why must there a serial number? And some people hearsays allegedly, I don't know if it's right or wrong. When they voted for opposition, they will have problems like have to get help from the government, like
Oh.
trying to get help from another party. It's difficult for them to like when they appeal or something. It's difficult
Okay.
to
So meaning to say, if you don't vote for the majority, you
for
vote for the
majority, yes.
opposition,
That's the word. Yeah.
right? So if the majority party won the place, so if you come for their meet the people,
Meet the people session or something like
ask
that,
for
yeah.
help, they won't help you
Yeah.
because they know that you vote for opposition.
Yeah,
That's what you wanna
that's
say.
what the makcik just let's take it as
It's just a
coffee
conspiracy
shop.
theory.
Conspiracy,
lah.
yeah.
It's like theory.
But I think my assumption is based on no corruption. Other
Yes, that's
countries,
strong.
They put in like
Yeah,
more
corruption,
votes, you know,
yeah.
because everyone is linked to one
Correct.
vote, so everything is fair. That's my assumption to make it rational.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can say, and I would strongly suggest,
Right.
if you have some time to spare this polling day,
Yeah.
see it for yourself. Okay. Sign up to be a polling agent or a counting agent, any party, right? Of course, opposition needs more volunteers, but you know, any party. I think the voting is 1,000% secret. Okay. And I'll come to the question about the serial numbers. Okay.
Okay.
But it's 1,000% secret. You think about this, okay? Since 1965, we had so many opposition parties, right? I mean, 1959 rather. We had so many opposition parties, right? Never once has there been any complaint from the opposition parties themselves about whether the vote is being tampered with or the vote is secret.
Yep.
Okay. You would be expect that the opposition will be the first to start jumping to say, hey, there's something wrong here, right?
Yeah.
But you have never heard of that. And the reason why is very simple, right? So from the time the boxes are brought in, right? We as polling agent, if you get to volunteer as polling agent, you get to inspect the box, okay? And then of course, throughout the day, the votes will go in, okay? At the end of the day, they will invite both sides, the polling agents and of course the civil servants and whatnot, to witness the box being sealed, right? And then you can put your signature there. You can even put your sticker there. Okay, you can put your sticker, like SDP sticker and whatnot, right? And then the box will be transported to the counting center. And you can actually, I've done this before in 2015, you can sit in the bus together with the box. So the SBS bus, empty SBS bus,
Yeah.
you sit in the bus together with the box. So basically you can eye the box all the way to the counting center. And then of course they will empty the boxes and then start counting and everything. And then they put it back in once at the end of the day, right? Again, seal, sign, whatever, put your sticker, this, that, right? And then it will be put, I think, in a vault for like, can't remember, was it 6 months or 1 year, in case there are any disputes.
Right.
Okay? When there are no disputes, the elections department will invite all of you again to come down, the political parties, to witness the incineration of the votes.
Right.
Right? So the voting process is 100% secret. Right? Who you vote for as an individual,
Right.
no one can know. I mean, you are free to tell people, oh, I voted SDP, I voted PAP or whatnot. But
Yeah.
the vote itself is secret. The serial number, I think Sham got it right, is to prevent fraud. So I cannot pretend to be you
Yeah.
and go to the polling center. It's just part of the registration process.
Right.
Yeah. So, but then after you get the you get your vote goes into the box, right? Not a soul in Singapore can tell how you voted. Yeah. And so a lot of times these kind of anecdotes about I voted opposition and this didn't happen, that didn't happen, right?
Yeah.
It's honestly quite dangerous because there are many civil servants who may not vote for who you think they vote for, right? And
usually when people thought civil servants will vote for the majority.
not necessarily.
Not
I mean,
necessarily,
I
yeah.
mean, okay, for example, right, you look at WP's latest slate of candidates or even past opposition candidates, right? Many of them were former civil servants, former scholars.
Yep.
That didn't happen overnight, ma.
Yeah.
You know, it's part of the process. And like a lot of times, like Dr. Paul Tambaya, right, he stood with the opposition. I think he works for NUH or something like that. He stood with the opposition. And I think he has said this in an interview before. Said that he actually got promoted.
Oh.
You know, so I think as far as policy goes, right, and same for Workers' Party. If you're a Workers' Party MP or SDP MP, regardless of who your constituent voted for, you will help. It's not like only if I voted for you, then you can come to my MPS.
Yeah.
Because you are the MP for the entire
Goes against
of
the
Mas-
morals. Right?
Exactly, right? I mean, people can vote for whatever reason they want to.
Yeah.
But if someone needs help, if someone wants to have a conversation, I think regardless of who you vote for, lah.
Right.
I mean, same for like a lot of times we hear about the next 5 years, right? You have 2 MRT stations and stuff like that. Honestly, things like this, right, will happen regardless of who your local MP is. Because there's a government, there's a civil service, and there's your MP,
Right.
right? So sometimes it's very easy to get confused because MRT lines and all, right, are planned years ahead,
Right.
right? They got master plans, they need to start drilling and whatever. So these things will still carry on.
So some people say, I think 5 years back or last 10 years back, last general election where Yunus, right?
Alternate.
Aljunied, right? Workers' Party won Aljunied. Then all of a sudden they say that now Aljunied become a ghost town.
Why?
Kau dengar tak?
Why
Because
Aljunied?
after Workers' Party won Aljunied,
Yeah.
so they hearsays lah say that betul sekarang Aljunied now become ghost town, so like nobody run proper, this and that. Yeah,
Okay.
people talk like that, bro.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that a lot of times people can say different things, but the
Yeah.
best is to go on the ground and see.
And
Because
see,
like,
yeah.
if you look at the numbers, right, I don't think there's been a decline in the population. And I don't think there's been decline in what our favorite topic, in the property prices.
Right.
Property prices are still going up, you know? So, and then the estate, I mean, when you go there and see, it's well taken care of and whatnot. Same for Sengkang,
Yeah.
right? And because a lot of people think, right, that MP, and this is one of my pet peeves,
Yeah.
right? You know, closer to elections, you'll see all your shelter walkways coming up, right? So I always believe that as an MP, right, your job is to be more than a glorified town councillor. Yes, you should take care of the town council, make sure the trash is cleaned and whatnot.
Yeah.
Estate is pleasant to live in, decent. But that is just the bare minimum. Because you're being paid about 16,000 a month.
Oh,
Okay? As an MP. Don't talk about mayors. Don't talk about ministers. As an MP, all that is bonus lah.
Yeah.
Right? As an MP, $16,000 a month, right? Yes, you're supposed to take care of the town council because you collect SNCC charges and whatnot. But that is honestly the bare minimum. What people want is for you to speak up in parliament, right? Especially on difficult issues. Let's say GST, let's say foreign policy. And it can even be things like, let's say, the whole Simply Go saga. And you know, we had a lot of different things in the past, right?
right.
So the question is, look, you're collecting this salary that comes from taxpayers' money. Of course, you do the bare minimum. Okay, sometimes even the bare minimum is not done in terms of estate cleanliness and whatnot,
Yeah,
right?
I've heard about that. Lah.
Yeah. So, but then a lot of people, they only remember this, but they don't remember the other role of the MP. So what I would suggest, right, there's this platform called CAPE, C-A-P-E, right? They do a very good report. Just for fun, right, go and key in your MP's name there. Try and find out how active your MP is in parliament.
Oh, it's like CEA.
Wow.
What's CA?
CEA is like Council of Estate Agents. You want to find out about the agent, you can just key in the name and
Right, yeah.
see whether he's...
So go and find out how active your MP is. And then this election, I think, will be quite interesting because I'm quite puzzled, right? There are so many one-term PAP MPs stepping aside,
Yeah.
right? That means just first term, they just got elected last term. This round, they're not running anymore, right? So question is like, of course, we'll never know why, right? Of course, it's part of the renewal and whatnot. But, you know, before they got elected, you'll see all these speeches about, I'll speak up. I'm not the usual PAP MP. Of course, you hear the all humble background or whatever, but nowadays you hear more of, I will speak my mind and whatnot. But what is the actual track record? How many of them have actually spoken their minds? How many of them have stood up for issues that may not be popular? You know? So I think that's where, right, a bit more balance in parliament is of great value.
Right.
whether it's Workers' Party, of course, SDP, PSP.
Right.
We need more balance. PAP can form the government of the day. But then, let's say a policy comes through, WP suggests something different, SDP says, no, we should do it that way. PSP says, actually, no, this way. And then
Right.
it's through that process, right, that I think the best policies come out.
Right.
Because we don't want a situation of group thing lah, where everybody is
Yeah.
all like stagnant.
Right.
Yeah. I
Wow.
think we are running a bit out
But
of
good.
time, but
Okay, sorry.
maybe last question you want to ask.
They have to apologize again.
It's
No,
okay.
it's okay. It's a free
Special, it's
country.
special.
Relax.
Right.
Yeah, because
Any last question you
yeah,
want to
and maybe this is your chance to maybe some want to vote for you.
Oh,
Why?
No,
why?
apparently, I don't know whether we can say that until nomination day. Or
We cannot.
I don't know.
But you just say lah, never mind lah, it's okay lah. Will you ever go Pofma? I haven't. I tried. I want to try.
You can
Yeah, maybe-
you can lose your POFMA
Yeah.
virginity.
Can I end this with the last question?
Yes.
Okay.
Just now you mentioned that your duty or what you want to deliver is to dignify the community, right? Okay, coming from minorities ourselves, we have a lot of minority listeners.
Okay.
Right. How do you plan to tackle or maybe structure this dignification towards the minorities?
And I mean, before I say, I would like to hear, because I don't want to be the first to speak up on behalf of a minority. I'm sure, of course, for me, I'm Indian Muslim, right? Might be very different from, let's say, Indian Hindus or Malay Muslims, right? But maybe I want to hear from y'all. Like, how would you, what is one way you think that the community can be more dignified?
Oh, you play the Uno reverse, huh?
No. I will say. But I don't want to be accused. No, I don't want to. How to say? Speak on behalf of people. You get me? Like,
Okay.
I think the whole idea is, I mean, the MPs or whatnot, they are just the representative. But at the end of the day, we have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's role play.
Okay.
Okay, Pobi is running for election.
Right.
Okay, for the Malay community.
Hey.
Because just now you mentioned is we need to find the core problem
Yeah.
in within the community.
Okay.
What do you think you can do for the people? Kau kan people's chairman.
Yeah, but what's the problem? Just give me one problem.
No lah, you think lah yourself. Bloody hell.
Apa masalah
Okay.
kita go through? Masalah kita go through.
Orang-orang Melayu kita.
Apa masalah yang very ni Kasih aku satu lah. Macam common. Pasal banyak sangat orang Melayu ni banyak masalah.
Okay, aku resident lah.
Okay.
Nak tanya ni MP B.
Ketuk dulu, ketuk.
Apa dia?
Masuk office aku ke?
Ah.
Ketuk je.
Ni MP Pobi.
Ya, saya.
Ada masalah sikit ni.
Boleh.
Pasal saya nak cari kerja.
Alright.
I saw inside the paper instead
Which paper, my brother?
Straight time.
Okay.
But inside the paper lah I saw.
Right.
So want to go for interview. They say Chinese speaking.
Okay.
I can speak Chinese.
You can?
Can.
Okay, so why not you go for the interview?
But I'm a Malay Muslim. So when I go for the interview,
Okay.
they say, oh, I'm sorry, we need a Chinese speaking. So I say I can speak Chinese.
Yeah, but did you try to...
Ni hao hao ma.
Okay, that's good. That's bare minimum. That's bare minimum.
Yeah.
So what they answer you?
So they say, actually, we need someone. I'm a woman, by the way. Okay, aku tekan stop. Sorry.
Dah leceh.
And we need, we cannot have someone who wear tudung.
Oh, so you're a woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we cannot have someone who wear tudung. First,
Right.
I can speak Chinese.
Okay.
Okay, but now they don't want someone who wear tudung.
Right.
Actually, this thing happened before lah, bro.
It happens.
A Chinese Muslim.
Yeah.
She went for interview. So they said they need a Chinese speaking. So I'm Chinese, but I'm
Yeah.
a Muslim. Oh, actually, we cannot have someone who wear tudung to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it becomes a big news lah, actually at point of time.
Then don't give up lah. You get up from your office, go find other job. Try. Yeah. But some things we cannot. I think I don't know how. Like this kind of situation. Like
I'm not trying to be racist.
Yeah.
bro.
But how we as a, let's say as an MP to control this?
I think one way, right? I think it's a very valid point that many people might face on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes it's clear-cut. Sometimes they'll just tell you, right? Of course, we have to ask the question. Sometimes when they say Chinese speaking, right? Is that really necessary or not? Like, is your job actually require Chinese speaking or is it preferred? You know, like, are you dealing with the Chinese market or whatnot? I mean, that's a separate question. But I think from a policy perspective, right, what we can have, and I think a few of the opposition parties have pushed for it, is anti-discrimination legislation, right? So similar to that, when the job market, sometimes the rental market, a lot of people, some people have told us that Indians
Indian family.
have a harder time to rent,
Yeah.
right? So basically, anti-discrimination legislation, the proper one, right? Not a watered down one, a proper one, will actually prevent people from discriminating based on race.
Right.
That means if you want something like, say, Chinese speaking, you're asking for a Chinese speaking employee, you need to substantiate why lah, you know? And that's where, I mean, how you dress, what you wear and whatnot shouldn't affect. And finally, I mean, I just have to plug this, I'm sorry,
Yes.
okay? It just so happened that it comes out during your last question. And I will encourage all your readers and even us ourselves to go to the SDP website. SDP has one of the only parties that has a policy paper just on the Malay Muslim community.
Oh,
So there's housing, education, etc. But there's one on Malay Muslim community. I think it was done some time back. So some of the measures may have already been adopted in the years that have come. So I think this is where when we want to reduce discrimination and at the end of the day, like what we said, to have increased dignity and respect in society. So I think, honestly speaking, of course, we're not even talking about the clear-cut racism, but this kind of everyday little things that we face as minorities. Of course, I think all of us in our own way have spoken up about it, have called it out when it comes. But I think in terms of society, in terms of policy, it can play a part as well.
Right.
It means a lot, right? If you as a minority can say that, look, actually what you're doing is wrong according to the law.
Okay.
You know, to say the last part, according to the law, what you're doing is not right, I think is very empowering.
Yeah.
You know, so I think this is something that I hope we can move towards.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to have you in the studio, Mr. Arifin.
No worries. Thanks.
We wish you all
for
the best.
Thank you. I'll need the luck.
Yeah, no problem. You're having my luck, my brother.
Thank you.
And of course, we are open for all other parties to come over.
Including my favorite MP.
Sundil lah. I want to meet him. Yes. Any words or
I also thank you so much,
Yeah.
Mr. Arifin Shah, for coming here.
Call me Arifin, please.
Arifin, so I hope that you'll be called for the bar examination and be a full-fledged lawyer.
Yeah. We wish you all the
And
best also.
be the Chief Justice someday.
Yes.
I don't.
Alright, that's too high,
I don't think so. Yeah, too high. Yeah, too high. We all, with the racket.
Yeah.
Yeah, deep respect to you because you are one of the youngest candidate. And I followed Wake Up Singapore. And I mean, like, just do what you're doing.
We will.
Yeah.
And same to you. I think you are running honestly a great platform. And I'm not just saying this because I'm here, but Singapore needs more conversations like this.
Right.
Yeah, we really do, regardless of where we stand. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming. Really, I really enjoyed the conversation, and this is my first time speaking.
Yeah.
From someone from the
opposition,
so-called opposition
yeah.
government, because normally I only talk to police officer. But thank you so much. I really enjoyed this, and I wish you all the best, and in hopes we can speak again in the future.
Definitely. Yeah.
We wish you all the best. We see who's next in the list. Ciao and salam.
Salam. Thank you.
Kami bersama dengan teman-teman penaja KHALIFA Kita lagi ruang TikTok juga. Kita akan balas semua pertanyaan di TikTok di part ini. Ada tak soalan? Ada. What's the Dia bacakan?
Aku bacakan
Okay.
Rumah saya ni by the wordsmith Rumah saya BTO kat Hougang, Lorong Asu. Resale value lepas 5 tahun. Bagus tak? Just a bit of info, additional info. Dia punya IC is under race Indian race.
Tadi I did mention pasal rumah BTO memang semua bagus lah. Because you beli murah, you sell in the market 5 years later, it's always 50% or more daripada harga you beli. And then especially kalau macam Hougang, all this area Lorong Asu, kalau Chinese eligible memang tinggi lah, because this area is proximity to town. Dia bukan daerah suburb. Jadi memang mahal.
Okay.
Suburbs.
So let's say kalau Lorong Asu, for example, kalau a 4-room flat can easily fetch to 600,000 ada?
More than that lah.
More than that? Gila lah.
Gila babi sial.
Kita dah check.
If you look at Woodland, Yishun, they are calling 600 already. 600,000 already. Close to 600 or 600 plus minus. Jadi Lorong Asu is closer to the city. So I expect because sana baru punya estate macam Paya Lebar yang baru nak MOP. So kalau kita ambil daripada Paya Lebar yang dekat rumah dekat MRT.
Yang mana?
Allah.
Mana? Kembangan.
Bidadari.
Bukan.
Paya Lebar.
Paya Lebar.
Ipoh.
MacPherson area tu, dia ada Pipit Road Bukan.
Pipit
Pipit
lah.
Road.
Pipit.
Tu, the 5 room,
Circuit,
the 4 room, Circuit Road. The 4 room is calling about 1 million already. 1,000 to 1 million.
Sikit road ghetto je sana.
Circuit Road. So I expect this one memang dia tak different location. So this one you can fetch somewhere close to 900 maybe lah, I think.
I see.
900.
Also tengok tingkat berapa and facing mana and whether Chinese eligible or not. Itu very important lah.
Okay.
Itu soalan ni daripada Syakilab.
Alright.
Syakilab. Dia cakap rumah saya kat BTO Sengkang, Jalan Kayu. Resale value lepas 5 to 10 years bagus tak?
5 to 10 years. Sekarang sana dah banyak in the resale market. The selling price sana should be around 620 to 650 for a 4 room.
Tinggi ya?
Tinggi.
Okay.
I see.
Berapa? 450.
650
plus bro.
620 to 650
4 room bro.
for a 4 room dekat sana.
Yes.
Wow.
Without realizing actually the price
High
keep on
floor.
increasing. High floor lagi
floor.
best. Kalau call kita nak jual.
Are you selling Syakilab? Are you selling right now?
Are you planning to sell?
Yes.
If you plan to sell, 15% to me.
Kalau your age is somewhere around, if you tak ada plan, ada orang tak ada plan, sudahlah malas nak pindah lah duduk sini.
Yes.
Tapi if you are at your prime age of about 38 to 42, if you had the intention macam nak try rumah besar sikit lah, this is the very right age. Because geram. So itu your you can move up a ladder to a bigger house kalau you can afford a private house, if not a bigger house, and then you'll be comfortable paying also. You'll be paying almost the same mortgage as what you're paying now.
Syakila 30 years old only.
Dia cuma 30. Also, actually, it's a good age, right? Actually,
This is
let's say kalau she have
very long
she have
runway.
like 2 or 3 kids, 1 or 2 kids. Actually, it's the best time for her to me lah. Kalau household income semua okay dengan lelaki dia, can jump to private actually.
Tengok income.
Tengok income
Ada
of
orang
course.
I tak advise pergi private because of tak stable.
Okay.
Income.
I see.
Commitment.
Ada orang anak kerja besar 9,000, 10,000 tapi anak ada 5. Then how you can accommodate size dah kecil rumah private.
Right.
Besar anak ramai. So I advise you move to a bigger house lah. Pergi EA ke, pergi 5 room ke.
Alright.
Pergi maisonette ke.
Wow.
Maisonette.
Nampak actually aku test Abang Malik.
Okay.
Pasal kalau private dapat more commission berapa 1% apa. Kalau dapat 1.5 million commission is 15,000 apa. Tapi aku test Abang Malik pun cakap kena dia ikhlas lah nak nasihatkan. Kalau ada family besar tak perlu pergi private.
Yes, precisely. Tapi depend. Tengoklah kemauan masing-masing dan kemampuan. Kemahuan dan kemampuan.
Kita boleh advice.
Yes. KHALIFA Reuters boleh advise. Yeah.
Will our HDB loan be affected if we taking high blood pressure medicine?
Yes.
It's called the HPS, right?
It will affect
HDB loan not
Baru nak ambil kan. So if tengok berapa chronic is your sakit. Because bukan HDB tapi dia punya HPS, CPF.
Home Protection Scheme.
So this one yang boleh tell you is actually CPF punya side. So kita can tell you berapa chronic is your blood pressure.
I see.
Ada orang memang traditionally memang 200 above dia punya blood pressure. So tapi dia tak chronic, dia masih macam biasa.
Okay.
Kalau tak declare?
Tak ada. Sometimes CPF will ask you to go for medical checkup.
Yes.
Yeah. Not like last time. Yes. Then they will send you a form. Then they tell you which are the doctors. So you have to go there. Then from there, whether they will advise you whether you can buy from us or not, or you buy private.
You cannot don't declare because they will somehow have your record of your medical record.
I see.
So it's best that you just declare. Then they ask you to go for the appointment. Just go for the
But
appointment.
it's not necessary for you to get insurance through HPS kan. Tak sebenarnya. Macam let's say kalau dekat HGB appointment kan, kalau kita tak nak beli HPS, we buy from our own insurance pun boleh kan.
Boleh juga. You can buy outside, but you have to pay cash lah kan. For CPF, you buy under CPF, you pay by CPF
For
yearly.
HPS
Every year, yearly.
Right. Okay.
Ada soalan lagi ni.
Yeah.
Ben Malbana, HDB loan bayar pakai CPF kan when age 55, basic retirement account tak reach balance loan kena pakai cash.
Ini good question. So before you
Dekat sikit.
aku juga
Dekat sikit.
Ya.
Yelah,
Dia dah start hari habis.
before you turn 55, you kena inform dengan CPF board that you still paying for your house. So regardless of your retirement account tu cukup ke tidak, they will allow you to use your ordinary account to pay for your house. Jadi dia tak akan tarik pergi retirement. But you must write in to them 6 months before lah. Nanti they will send you a letter.
Okay.
Macam diorang dah 55, so dah dapat surat.
tak malu orang tua ni.
Baik.
So tak payah pakai cash. Still tak payah pakai cash.
I see.
55 dia nak jual rumah ke beli rumah tu?
Dia nak
Maksudnya
servicing the
rumah
loan.
tapi masih
Servicing the loan.
ya.
55 masih nak bayar.
Ada orang ada family macam itu lah. Macam duduk sini je lah sampai tua sampai mati. Ada gitu kan.
Okay. You can duduk, but you must know the punya procedure and everything. All this important macam those taking bank loan. Cakap duduk duduk, tapi after you punya package dah habis the interest rate will go up. So you need to sign a new package with the bank. So all this you have to actually monitor. Kalau not sure, call us. Sometimes even we have the bank consultant who assist to actually give them a new package. Selalunya sekarang first 3 years you bayar only like 2.6%. After 3 years you pun lupa, dia naik 4%. So you keep on paying extra. So why you want to pay extra? So it's good that must always keep note on this interest.
Ya, tapi nanti macam Faizal leceh lah. Tak kisahlah, aku penat dah nak moving. Diorang selalu ingat malas, penat nak move house.
Important thing pergi refinance
Dekat
lah.
sikit.
Important thing pergi refinance kalau bank loan. Because kalau tak nanti when you jual, you realise kenapa sikitnya dapat cash? Because you tak refinance, interest rate tinggi.
Right.
Paying more interest.
A lot of people don't notice, tak perasan about this interest rate When we ask them question, tak tahu berapa, then we check kan 4% plus. That's very high tau actually. You are actually paying for the interest first, then you pay the principal.
So imagine those who stay in a private house. Imagine diorang lagi monitor. Slight changes they have to pay more. That's why they always monitor all these things. So for those who taking bank loan outside there, you're not sure, call us.
Yeah,
we can assist.
Call KHALIFA tu. What are you waiting for?
88925882. Nak tahu lebih dalam, boleh contact diorang je. Diorang boleh layan. Don't worry. Diorang akan layan. Diorang memang nak layan pun. Diorang memang nak layan pun. Okay, second, another question. Ini kira topik What's your professional opinion of Singapore's housing market in 5 years? Abangs.
5 years. Aku juga.
Ini dah GE punya jawapan.
Sendirilah.
If you look back 5 years ago, where was the price? You look back further 10 years ago, where's the price? So you look back 15 years ago, Singapore selalu dia punya market we are control. In fact, right now, I think our PM just mentioned recently that the price should soften already now.
Yeah.
Because diorang memang nak the price to soften. That's why they launch a lot of BTOs and surveillance flat. Jadi how you ask me about the 5 years later, it all depends on whether the demand gonna be more ataupun sama. Tapi for Singapore market traditionally based on our experience dia akan soften, dia akan go flat ataupun sikit the dip, tapi dia tak crash. Kita punya one thing about kita punya housing punya industry kat sini, dia punya market is being controlled as in like dia tak nak everyone to lose money lah senang cakap. Tapi you must be careful where you enter. This is public housing. I'm talking about public housing, not private housing. Of course private housing pun ada control lah with the ABSD and everything because dia tak nak thing to fly. Kalau macam diorang tak control on foreigner buying Singapore property, the price will be out of reach already. People like from China, from India, from Hong Kong, from everywhere of the world pun beli kat Singapore. That's why they have 60% stamp duty for foreigner they want to stop all this first. To control all this. That's why they have 60% ABSD from few years ago. Siapa-siapa yang nak beli property in Singapore. That's why the Singapore in the high-end segment very quiet now. Sebab of this ABSD government nak control. Jadi kalau HDB pula, they control by BSD by building more BTOs.
Building more BTOs. Okay. Ada soalan
itu jawapan.
seterusnya?
Ada lagi. Tapi yang tengah nonton kita dekat YouTube dengan Spotify, kita akan jumpa KHALIFA Reuters di minggu depan. Kalau nak tahu lebih lanjut, hubungi mereka di 8892 5882 88925882. Jangan lupa untuk follow diorang di Instagram, Facebook dan juga TikTok di KHALIFA
Reuters.